said like literally like 10 times. Okay. I counted. I was gonna start counting the ums.
Okay. All right. Okay. Jesus, we're new at this.
I'm just saying, if you want to do it, we got to do it right.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
No pressure.
Just kidding. Okay.
Okay. So some of you guys have asked us to go over post-show diet, post-show rebound. You know, and that really honestly just depends on your adherence to your plan and your discipline after your show. If you're the type of person that's just like, fuck it, you know, I'm going to eat whatever I want, I miss drinking, I'm going to start boozing again right after your show when your body's super sensitive, you haven't had carbs, you haven't had other foods, and then all of a sudden you just start throwing this shit in, of course your body's going to start blowing up. I mean, I've personally gained 33 pounds in 2 days because I was a complete idiot after a show and just said, fuck it. So if you do that, yes, you will gain weight. So it basically just depends on what you do. If you get back, if you go have a meal after you know, have your show, maybe have something in the morning, and then you get back on your plan and you're back to, you know, non-inflammatory foods, you know, getting your water back in, you cut the sugar, you know, you're going to have a fine rebound. You know, you have to also know your own body too. You know, if you're super sensitive to carbs, you probably can't go start crushing carbs right away or you're going to blow up. So you kind of know your body type as well. That also helps. So just being in tune with what your own body is going to do. You need to know that as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I also think, like, you know, post-show, your body is super sensitive to absorbing everything. You are at an extremely low body fat. You are probably even past the point of sensitive. You are probably in a situation where it's not healthy. And you need to be really careful about coming back slowly. And that also includes, like, in my opinion, training. I don't think that it's very smart to come back post-show the next day and just, like, crush your legs or do, you know, some stuff like that. I mean, you just put your body through a lot of dehydration and depletion, and it just becomes overly sensitive. And I think that you're at risk for injury when you decide to do that. So I think also deloading your workouts is also a really important thing. What do you think about that?
I mean, I can't sit here and say that because I, you know, am the type of person that if I had a show come, like, just depends. Like, if my season was over, would I go crush, you know, a PR the next day? Probably not. But if I had a show in 4 weeks, like, my mental mindset was always to just go hard. So, I mean, me personally, like, I was back in the gym. So, am I going to say that's the smartest thing to do? No. But that's what I did. So
I'm not saying, like, motivation is high for sure. Post-show, motivation is really high, especially if you got beat.
It's always,
and you're like, I got to get back to the, you know, drawing board.
Motivation's always high after a show because you either got your ass kicked or you killed it and you want to do that again or you want to get better. Yeah. You know, or you just realize it's not for you too. There's always that. But, you know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so that's kind of why I think that training you need to be smart about your training. You need to be smart about your diet. You know, you need to be smart about approaching your post-show.